This is the live stream of recording podcast episode 145 of Explore Your Enthusiasm. So you'll see me kind of get set up, get ready, and then I'll actually record the podcast. So if you're a patron or a Starship Captain, you get access to this a week before anyone else. And I'm also streaming this on Instagram. Let's see if we can do a little, an Inception type thing. I'm also streaming this on Instagram Live. But of course, that recording goes away right away. If you want the edited version, you don't want to see all this me getting ready stuff at the beginning and the end and answering people's questions, then just wait a week. It'll come out on Wednesday. There's a new podcast episode tomorrow. And the episode tomorrow is going to be about 5 tips for copywriting. What we're going to talk about today in this recording, next week's episode, is how to have a business you love. Now, before we get started, I need to ask you, first of all, hello to everyone who's watching on Instagram. I see you guys, Beth and Petrichor and Linda and Beth and Tawny and Indie Knits. Hi, welcome, guys. So you've been plugged in. I'm going to unplug you. Hopefully my phone won't die in the middle of this. Thanks for the hearts, friends. I still have to get set up. I have to kind of get my thing set up. But what I need from you is what I'm going to talk about today is how to love your business, how to make sure that you're creating a business that you're going to love. And we're going to talk about the things that keep you from loving your business. One of them is I spend so much time. I spend too much time. Another one is I'm not making any money. I'm spending all this time. I'm not making any money. Like things that keep people from feeling like totally smitten with the business they have. And I would like to ask you guys who are watching here live on Instagram Live, what are the things that keep you from loving your business? What, I feel like my makeup got smeared. What's keeping you, what's the thing that you feel like is keeping you from loving your business? I've got a couple suggestions in the podcast episodes and then solutions for if this is your problem, this is a solution. But I feel like I might be missing a couple. I kind of just went back in my mind and was like, okay, what are the things people tell me the most often? So tell me, what is keeping you from being totally in love with your business? You start typing in the chat while I get set up for the podcast recording, okay? I got to open my file and all that. So you tell me, what is keeping you from loving the business you have today, right now, if you have a business? Okay, I have to adjust my legs. I don't know why I have to sit cross-legged when I record. It's a whole thing. Lack of cash flowing in. Okay, good. We're going to talk about that, Linda. What else is keeping you guys who are just joining us? I'm asking you, what's keeping you from loving the business you have right now? Life obligations get in the way of doing the work. So is that something you don't love about your business? Is it that it doesn't fit in the life you have? Or is it that, you just don't have a life set up to have the kind of business you want to have? Which is also totally reasonable. Many, many people are in the life position where they don't have the right setup, the right life setup to spend time and energy on the kind of business they want. Book work and advertising. Okay, good. So there's just parts of your business you don't like. Wait, I have an answer for that. So welcome everybody who's joining us. We are about to record episode 145 of Explore Your Enthusiasm, my weekly podcast. And what we're going to talk about are the things that keep you from loving your business and how to actually have a business you're going to love. Did I say 145? It's actually 144. Let's make sure I say that right when I say it. Yep, how to love your business. Okay. All right. Right. No life setup. I get it. I don't know if I have an answer for that one, other than we're not always in a stage of our life where we can have the kind of business we want to have. And then you have to make hard decisions. You either have to change things in your life or you have to change what you decide you want out of your business. So maybe there's a dream business and you're not in the position right now to work on it. But you know that you'll get there because things will change. Okay, so Jenna says right now transitioning to selling online, being so freaking disorganized. Okay, and then Rask. Is it Rasco Fine Art? Took me a minute. Mortgage, full-time job, small kids, got time only at night when I'm exhausted. So is that keeping you from loving your business, or is that keeping you from loving your life? That's actually what several of you guys have said. Sound more like you're unhappy with your life and then frustrated that your business doesn't fit into it. You will get there, Varian. And I think you're doing a lot. You made a lot of progress. It always feels different on the inside than it looks on the outside though, right? Okay, so I'm going to make sure that I have QuickTime open so we can record this. Where is QuickTime? Okay, close all the windows. Yeah, it's not open at all. Okay. So I got to think about how I'm going to word that in the podcast episode. You guys bring up a good point. There it is. Okay, file, new movie recording. Spending more time on email and infrastructure than creative work. I feel you. Okay, we'll talk about that. Okay. Okay, so right. So then you ask yourself, you love your life, but you hate your job. So where does your business fit in there? Is it the stuff that you love? Or are you not loving it enough? I'm going to add in, okay. Your life doesn't, so these are my notes for the podcast episode, give you, the flexibility. It's like you're saying your life doesn't fit your business. So what we're doing is coming up with the reasons you don't love your business, and then I'm giving you a solution for each of them. Okay. You know what? I was going to call this episode How to Love Your Business. This might instead be called The Tough Love. I'm feeling like giving some tough love. I think we don't hear enough that it's hard, but it's okay that it's hard. That's making money in general requires work, and it's not always pleasant work. And when it's your own business, it's especially hard because you have all the emotional and the love and the passion and all the other people on the internet who are doing it better, faster, whatever than you are. And that can be hard. I'm going to move you guys because I have to move my whole computer setup. Oh, I don't have my microphone yet. Okay, so you just chill, hang out. I'm going to get my microphone set up. I have my coffee, but not my microphone. Where do you fit? Where do you fit? Where are you, USB drive? So here's my microphone. It's a Snowball. It's orange, even though the name of it is blue, which I find troubling every time I look at it. Because your brain reads blue, and then my brain is like, no, orange. Okay. I know what you mean, Varian. I totally agree. Let's just keep that microphone in that shot. Okay. Okay. So we have a little bit of a time constraint because I'm recording Elevate Your Business at 1 and it's 12:36. So we're going to have to get started. Okay. All right. Let's check the screen. No weirdness. Okay. Yeah. Okay. My microphone wants to fall off my table. You guys, I'm using a really old table that used to be Jay's grandma's. It's round, and on it I have a stack of boxes and my laptop, then the microphone, and my cup of coffee. I really need to get a table that like fits it all, but it's like Not a coffee table, taller than a desk, and small and like can move around. Hi, Karen. Okay, we're going to get started recording this week's episode of the podcast because I have a lot to say, not a lot of time to say it in. And if you're a student in Elevate Your Business, as soon as this is over, go over to Elevate Your Business and Julie and I will be live there. I'm already ready for that. I just got to record this. IKEA is my friend. I know IKEA has this table that will basically, it's a rectangular table and it goes over your chair and then can be slid off to be like a side table. So yeah, I need to get on that. Ooh, with bed risers, that's smart. All right. Let's get started. Wait, I need to check my notes before I can get started. I want you to have a business you love. And by that, I don't just mean that you love making what you make, but that you also love how you spend your time and you feel fairly compensated for it. And you just love the people you work with and you love what you do. So today we're going to talk about the most common reasons people don't love their businesses and solutions for each one, or suggestions for each one if it applies to you. So we're going to cover the things that I find most people say are the reasons they don't love their business, and then how you can fix it, and also the most effective way to end up with a business you love. Welcome to Explore Your Enthusiasm, episode 144, How to Have a Business You Love and How to Love Your Business. So last year I held a 30-day challenge called Month of Biz Love. It's coming back, don't worry. But I learned so much about what is keeping you from deeply loving your business. I got so many replies from people based on the prompts and the challenges that was some insight about what was keeping them from loving their business. So today we're going to talk about the most common things I hear and some solutions and suggestions. Now, the first most common thing I hear is that you don't have enough sales or make any money or cash flow, right? You're not seeing a result of all this work you're doing. And I have two possible suggestions for that. The first one is you need to do more work, or you need to wait. You need to have patience and keep doing the work over time. So often when people tell me this, either they are just getting started out and they're at the stage where you're doing all of the work and you're seeing absolutely no return, or they are, they think they've started their shop and they think they're running a business, but they've done it very, very small, and then they're just waiting for their first sale before they invest any more time or energy into it. You can't do that and expect to see sales. What I mean by that is an Etsy shop that has 5 or 10 items in it that were uploaded 3 months ago, and then they're just waiting. Okay. If you aren't seeing the cash flow that you need to see in your business, you aren't seeing the sales you need to see, then you need to do the work. If what's keeping you from loving your business is it's not getting the kind of results you need, then tough love time. The solution is to do the work. And what I mean by doing the work is to list more products and take better photographs and write more clear descriptions and list more products. You can't just list 5 things in your shop and expect to make any money. Now, I always hear when I say that, people respond and say, but so-and-so only has a couple things in her shop, or so-and-so sells out every time and her shop sits blank. Right, but what you're missing is that they spent years or maybe real hardcore months building up their audience so then they could do that. If you're just starting out with a shop and products, or if you've been doing this for a year, but very, very small and slow, then you can't expect that people are going to buy something before you've built up trust and consistency and before that you show them what you do. So the more things you post, the more photos you take, the better you get at taking photos and writing descriptions, the more you talk to your people, the more it's going to solve that sales problem. So the first solution to this problem is to do the work. Now, if you're listening and you're like, Tara, that's crazy. I'm doing a lot of work and I have no more time and I cannot manage to do any more work, then I want you to stop and look at how you're spending your time. The issue isn't that you need to do more and spend more time. The issue is that you need to spend your time in the right ways. So what I say in my class, Get More Done, is that it doesn't matter how much time you have, it matters how you use the time. The amount of time you have does not signify how successful your business will be. How you choose to spend that time is going to signify how successful your business will be And again, we're all defining success for ourselves. But if you're not happy and you're not in love with your business and you feel like you're spending all of your time, you need to look at how you're spending your time. And you just boil down how you're spending your time to finding your people, moving them along your customer path so that they find you, fall in love with you, and then buy. And if you're spending any time that's not those things, it's not either creating and listing new products or talking directly to your people and inviting them to buy the products, then it's a waste of time. So I got an email not too long ago from somebody who's really frustrated with Instagram. And she told me she spent hours every week making, editing, listing photos on Instagram. And if you're listening, know that I love you. I'm going to tell everybody what I told her in the email, which is, if it's not directly related to your business and you're seeing no business results of it, stop spending all the time doing it. Stop. Like, if you are spending a lot of energy on a marketing tool that seems to work for everyone else and it's not working for you, you need to shift either your strategy around that tool. Maybe you're not making enough call to actions. Maybe it's not clear what you actually sell, or you need to spend your time on a more effective tool. So those are my two suggestions if you're not having enough sales making money. Now, there's a third piece of this, which is that if you are having lots of sales, but you're not making enough money, it's probably an issue with your profit margin and your expenses versus income. And we're gonna cover that in upcoming podcast episodes. All of March, we're gonna talk about money. So one of two problems: either it's marketing related, people don't know you exist, or your money problem is profit margin related. You're not pricing at the right place to make enough money. So that's a third way to fix this. Money, like, is being the thing that's keeping you from loving your business. Now, the second thing that might be keeping you from loving your business, the second most common thing I hear, and this actually they just told me on Instagram live before I got started recording, is that, how they put it is that their life life gets in the way of them working on their business. What keeps them from absolutely loving their business is that life is not giving them the time to spend on their business. Either things come up that they have to do, or they have a mortgage and kids and a day job. And that, I ask the question, is that really not loving your business? Is that your business's fault, or is that an issue of your life? So I think this episode is a tough love episode because here's the solution or suggestion I have if that's your problem. The problem is, how I would word it, is that your life doesn't fit your business dreams. The life and the time that you have and all of the other requests you have for your time and obligations you have to spend your time on, they don't fit with what you're wishing that you could do in your business. And that is just a fit problem. That's just a mismatch. That's okay. But tough love, you have to make decisions. You have to decide either to change your obligations in your life so that you have the time to invest to have the kind of business you want, or you change your definition of business success and what you're working towards in the short term. Long term, you can still have the thing. Someone can have 2 hours a week and work on their business for 5 to 10 years and grow a massive business. I was just listening to an interview with Emily McDowell, who makes the awesome cards and prints and hand lettered things. And she was talking about the time it takes to grow the business and the time invested in it. So don't think it's not possible just because you don't have the right time now, but realize you have choices to make. Either you can give yourself a break and decide to give yourself a longer time period to reach those dreams because of your obligations that you love and don't want to give up, or change your obligations, change what you're expecting in your non-business life so that you have more time to reach the dream faster. And I know this is no easy thing. Like, this is the hardest thing we have to do in life, is to decide what we prioritize, who we're going to spend time with, what we're going to spend time on, and if we're going to prioritize stability over freedom, or family time over working time, and what that trade-off is. Because everything's a trade-off. Everything. There is no business that is not a trade-off of something. You get to decide what you want that trade-off to be. So that's the good news. You get to decide. You get to decide, okay, so I've been comparing myself to businesses who grew super fast in their first year, but my life isn't that life. So I'm going to decide, keep the same business goal, but stretch it out maybe 5 years instead of 1 year. Or I see people being New York Times bestselling authors, but I don't have the time to write. So I'm going to instead decide that that will be my goal over 20 years instead of over 5 years, right? You can decide to shift your business goals, or you can decide to shift how you spend time in your personal life. And I love you guys. I want you to love your business. And I just want to be real with you that everything's a trade-off, and still be encouraging that you can make it happen if you decide to make it happen. What I actually see happening under this don't love their business is that people give up. They're like, oh, well, these are all my life obligations, so I guess I can't have a business. Or I guess I'll never reach my dream. Or they don't go all in. They say, these are my obligations, so really what's the point? I'll just work on it a little bit. And that brings us back to the very first thing I said, which is you have to do the work. The time you have, if you want to have a business that's sustainable, that pays you, that you enjoy working in, you have to do the work in the hours you have to the best of your ability. And then, yes, it may grow slower, but you're going to get to where you're going. If you spend the next 20 years being like, well, I just don't have that much time, so I guess I won't work on it that much, you'll never get there. Okay, but time and consistency and hard work are going to get you there, even if you just have a couple hours each week. Now, the third thing that people tell me that they don't love about their business is that they don't actually like what they're spending their time on. And hey, this is okay. This is actually a great, great realization to have. Better to have this realization and narrow it in than to just have like a general malaise and like, I'm not happy with my business. So maybe it's that you thought you would love making 100 necklaces a week, but you realize your wrists actually can't stand it. Or maybe you thought you wanted to work with clients, but you realize you kind of hate your clients, or they're driving you crazy, or client work isn't for you. But at this point, a lot of people are like, okay, I guess I hate this business. I'm just going to stop. But instead, you have some choices. So A, if you decide you didn't like turning your hobby into your business, that's actually a great realization, and you can just stop trying to do it, right? That might be the total right thing for you, and that's awesome. But if you, like me, are in love with the idea of having your own business and working for yourself and being self-employed for life, then you need to figure out what the next step is. Whatever you hate in your business, whatever you don't like doing, whether it's accounting and bookkeeping, or it's admin stuff, or it's actually making the necklaces. First of all, what specifically don't you like? Narrow it in, make a list. Then, what are the bits you do like? What would you like to be doing with your time? And then you have two choices. You can either build a business just around the bits you love, and or you can hire out the stuff you don't like. So recently I just brought on a new video editor because I want to make more videos, but I realized the thing keeping me from making videos is I hate editing videos. So I was just not making videos, but I want to make more of them. So new video editor is going to do the stuff I hate. Now, if you were just thinking you didn't have enough money and you weren't making enough sales, this is probably frustrating because you don't have the money to hire out the things you don't like. But here's the thing. If you identify it and you realize that's a solution you want to go for, now you have a goal to work towards. What I often do is I take the money I'm going to spend hiring someone and I break that up into how many sales is that? How many new people is that? Okay, if it's 10 sales of a book, then how many new people have to get on my list in order to make those new sales of the book? Okay, now I have a focus. Now I have a thing I'm working towards, getting people on my list, and my list invites them to buy my book. Okay, so it doesn't mean that you can hire it out immediately, but it is there for it to be your goal. And what you can do then is work on getting to that point. And we got to acknowledge we all have to do stuff we don't like in order to grow. And we all have to go through periods of things being a drag because we can't hire them out, but we know that's what we're working towards. But that amount of clarity can actually help you feel better and more in love with your whole business because you realize this isn't forever. I have something that's going to change this. Just knowing what you're working towards that will change it can often help you feel a little more positive about it. Okay, and the fourth one is you don't like the overall direction you're going. I've had so many friends and students come to the conclusion that they're making sales doing a thing that they don't like doing any of it. Like they don't want to go that direction. Like if you've been growing your business and growing your sales for years, you might think that your next goal is to have more sales, but then you think, what would these more sales entail? Oh, I'd have to make 10 times as much stuff, or I'd have to spend a lot of time in sales, or I'd have to spend a lot of time dealing with customers. Maybe that's not where you want to go. So maybe you're working more hours than you wanted. Maybe you don't really like the customers you're working with. Maybe you're just like the direction in front of you just does not appeal to you. So when you looked at your goals for the year, if they were something like growing sales or subscribers or doing more craft shows, and you just were like, meh, I don't really care. That's totally okay. It's totally okay to come to the point in your business at any stage, whether you've had a lot of sales or you haven't had a lot of sales, where you were just not really excited about what the next steps would be. Maybe it's the next steps you see everybody in your industry doing. Maybe it's the next step that like your person you've looked up to has done. And maybe you just think that's the thing I have to do, but you don't. The solution is to realize you're allowed to go in whatever direction you want to go in. You're allowed to build whatever kind of business you want to build. You don't have to keep going in a direction you started off in. So this is why in the Map Your Business system, we take a step back at the beginning and we zoom way out. We don't just look at what you want to do in the next year, because it's really easy to just like slip into the path everybody else is going. Oh, well, I haven't hit that sales number yet, so I guess I should do that. Or I haven't been in that magazine yet, I guess I should do that. I'm not in 10 shops yet, so I guess I should do that. But if you zoom way back and you look at your whole life and you look at your values and you look at what matters to you and you look at what more qualities you want to have in your life, like fun or adventure or excitement or rest and comfort and healing, when you look at that, then you can break it down into what you're going to do the next year to bring more of that in your life. Because it's really easy to go in a business direction you don't want to go into. I have this conversation so often with people, and they're like, you said that and I heard you say that 2 years ago and I didn't believe it. And then I did it and I realized I was unhappy and I had to like go back, rearrange things and go forward. The good news is you get to do that. Nothing is going to stop you from deciding to go the direction you want to go, even if it doesn't look shiny and new to everyone else, even if it's not that exciting to anyone else, if it's what you want, right? Like if your North Stars for the next year are comfort and calm and peace and healing, then that might not be very shiny on the outside. That might not look very impressive to your other little entrepreneur friends. But if that's what you want in your life, that's the direction you should take it. Otherwise, you're going to experience burnout and frustration and wondering why you can't ever seem to be motivated to do the work. It's often because you don't really care about the direction you're going. So if you need to get clearer on the direction you want to go, you can check out my book, Map Your Business. It is now out of pre-orders, actually available on Amazon, both in paperback and Kindle, or you can get it signed from my site. If you go to tarasweiger.com/map, you can grab the book and I'll sign it to you. And if you've got a copy, please share it with the hashtag #MapYourBusiness, all one word, Map Your Business. I also love to see what you guys are looking at or working on as you listen to the podcast. So let me know with the hashtag Explore Your Enthusiasm. I want to thank you so much for listening. Remind you can go get Map Your Business at tarasweiger.com/map and have a really enthusiastic, love-filled week. Okay, guys, so that was recording next week's podcast episode. My mic decided to move right in the middle of it. There we go. Kind of set up. I think the camera has to go back. So thanks if you're watching on YouTube or you're watching the recording later in the Starship or you're a patron. I super appreciate your support. And thanks, guys, for being here in all the places that you're watching. I super appreciate it. It is not letting me see like any kind of chat room in YouTube, so I don't know. Thanks, guys, for being here in all the places. It just started playing the video. Okay, so I'm going to go. We're about to go record. What are we going to record? Elevate Your Business. So if you're in that class, head over to that thing. No, so if you miss most of it, no problems, guys. It's going to be on the podcast next week. It's next week's episode of the podcast, episode 145. This week, what'll come out tomorrow is 5 copywriting tips. Next week, we'll talk about how to love your business. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. And I hope that you know that my tough love is because I love you. and I want you to love your business, and I want you to love your life. It's really what it comes down to. Like, even if you decided that in order to love your life, you gave up on your business, that'd be fine. We'd still be friends. We'd be pals. So many places. Looking forward to it. Thank you for keeping positive. No problem, guys. Okay, so if you liked this and you want to hear the edited version, be sure you've subscribed. You can subscribe on YouTube, tarasweiger.com/YouTube. Click the little subscribe button, or however you listen to audio podcasts, look for Explore Your Enthusiasm. It'll be out next week. Oh, thanks. I'm glad you guys like my new glasses. I appreciate it. So thank you so much. I can't find all the windows I have open. Have a really, really excellent day.